Looking at the Grameen Bank, many researchers come study because they don't believe that it's really possible. It looks like a fairy tale, looks like a story. Everything we say, how can women change their life? They don't know anything. You have to train them, you have to teach them. Only them, they will know how to use the money. They have no business experience. They have to be taught how to run businesses. You don't do anything, and you say they can change their life. So they come and study us. After they go through the whole research, and they become great admirers of Grameen, seeing at what it does to people. And they have been reporting us that what all the good things that happen to Grameen borrowers because of the small loans people got. Their income situation has steadily increased. Their housing is improved because of the housing loans, and also their own income put into improvement of the housing. The nutrition level of their children has overgone tremendous changes. And then adoption of family planning practices, they tell us that it is twice as high among the Grameen borrowers than among the non-Grameen people in the villages. So you look at in every direction, you see a very positive change.
Very positive.
And all this is happening not because some government or somebody is dishing out money to people. No. They are just taking loan, paying it back with full interest, and still changing their life. What else can you expect from people?
Wow, it's fantastic.
I mean, governments have been pouring in billions of dollars worth of money in the name of improving the quality of life for the people, but it never got changed.
They never got.
Here we have an opportunity where you're doing business, you're lending money, and people are paying you back. You cover your costs, and they, in the process, not only they pay you back and own the bank.
They better the style of life,
human quality
of life
changes completely. So when we introduce ourselves as Grameen Bank, by looking at the name bank, people think maybe it's like Lloyd's Bank or a city bank giving small loans to the poor people. I keep reminding that it's not true, because it's not a bank, traditional bank that we know, coming few steps down and lending money to the poor people. It's a completely new concept of banking. If you look at the Grameen Bank and the conventional bank, you'll see the differences are quite a number of differences. And people ask me, how did you come up with the idea of Grameen Bank? Where did you learn? How did you invent all those things? I said it was very simple for me. Whenever we had a question in mind, we looked at the conventional bank and we just did the reverse of what they do. And we created Grameen Bank. And literally, you'll see lots of things we do is completely the reverse of what the conventional banks do. Conventional banks are always looking for clients who have a lot of money. Their principle is the more money you have, the more money you can get. So they're always looking for how much money you already have so that they can give you more money. We reversed that principle. We said the less you have, higher priority you get. If you have nothing at all, you get the highest priority. So that principle is completely started in a very reverse position. And then conventional banks want to find out about the proposal you are making to them so that you can borrow against that proposal. And they want to know that you know everything about the business that you are entering into, and you have long experience of doing it, so that it's absolutely secure, absolutely 100% guaranteed, the business that you are entering. We go to the people and people argue with us, I don't know anything. I never been in business. I never touched money in my life. The more they say that, the more attractive we find that person for us, because that's where our role is, to make first experience happen. So the experience is something, if somebody says we have experience in this business, we get less interested in the person. Anybody who says I don't have experience, we get more interested in the person. So again, this is a reverse process of what conventional things. And everything we do, it's all based on trust. We have no legal document between the lender and the borrower. We don't have to sign.
No papers.
No papers of legal nature that which we will take to the court to sue somebody who
no
doesn't
small
pay.
letter.
No
tiny letter.
No yellow page. No green page. No pink page that you have to sign, notarize, and all those. I found it useless for our purpose. Because for a $50 loan, for a $100 loan, if you have to get all those papers signed, and for millions of people to have all those papers, when you actually need that paper to go to the court, probably you can even track it down where you kept it.
Okay.
And then you have to hire lawyers all the time. And the lawyer's fees will be many times more than the loan itself. So what is the use of going through all those hassle? Forget about this. Would you abandon the whole thing? So we came as a kind of handshake loan. You take the money.
And based on trust.
Based on trust. You trust us and we trust you. And to institutionalize that trust, we created a solidarity group of 5 people.
Fantastic.
So 5 people, they look after each other's interest.
Between them.
Between them. And when a loan is needed, if I'm a member of the group and I need a loan from the bank, I don't have to go to the bank to propose that. I just propose it to my group, my 4 friends in the group, that this is the money I want, this is the work I want to do. So my friends will either approve or disapprove or lament or say, okay, that's fine, it sounds good to us. And then if they approve, bank gives the money. So the group becomes the loan committee.
That's very interesting.
It's not in the bank, it's among your own friends.
And they're responsible between them. They build responsibility.
Yes, the responsibility comes from an informal way. There is not a
informal
paperwork.
way.
Yes, there is no paperwork where we have to all sign that we are approving. No.
It should be much
Simply
stronger, surely.
Yes, exactly. Simply we are agreeing that yes, we are recommending her to take a loan. By agreeing to give her a loan, morally we are coming up with a responsibility, because after all, if she doesn't do well, we will be responsible because we approved that loan. We thought she will do a good job. So that responsibility remains with that. And this is an informal responsibility. Bank will not come and make you responsible. You have to pay back. No, I don't have to pay back. Simply I feel that yes, I approve the loan, so I'm party to that.
But perhaps you build much more commitment.
Absolutely, that's why this way commitment comes naturally. It's not by the fear of the police or fear
not
of the
by
court.
fear, but by
own sense of responsibility. And another thing we do differently, one basic principle we started out with, we said people should not come to the bank.
That's fantastic.
Bank should go to the people. So we reverse again the system.
The way around.
Exactly. We are not office-based bank. You don't have to come to our office. If you come to Grameen Bank, you won't see any teller sitting behind a counter and people lining up to deposit money or withdraw money. Nothing of the sort. Because we are not doing any business in our office. Our office is just to keep our records. We go to the clients, we go to the doorstep of our borrowers. So when I say we have 2.4 million borrowers, we mean we meet those 2.4 million borrowers. We meet them every week.
Every week.
We have 13,000 staff. We go to 39,000 villages each week to meet 2.4 million borrowers at their doorstep and do the business at their doorstep.
Incredible.
So they don't have to come to office. We go to them.
You go to their houses.
We do go to their houses, so that they, particularly women, don't find it inconvenient for them while they are doing the household work or business work. They stay home. They don't waste their time coming and waiting every week to deposit money and so on, or whatever installment payment they have to do. They do everything in their house. So this is another change.
Another change.
And our staff is carrying this cash in their body. And we, every day, every week, we are dealing with millions of dollars worth of money.
Always in cash.
Always in cash. It's always in their body.
And you don't have any problem.
We have no problem, because
Fantastic.
everybody told us in the beginning, oh, your stuff will be killed because people would take away the money. It never take away the money. So we get the money back. We create the banking system in a way people can live with, people can benefit from them. So in every single way that you see, we have distanced ourselves from the conventional way of thinking. And the interest that we charge, we make enough income so that we can pay for all the cost of operation of the entire bank with the 13,000 staff, with all the 1,138 branches all over the country, and all the other expenses that we have to incur, cost of fund. Everything is covered by the interest we charge. We have 2 rates of interest, one for income generating activity, which is 1 year loan, and the interest rate is 20%, and the housing loan, which is a 10-year loan,
10-year loan.
yes, and paid in weekly installment, and 8% interest. So 20% and 8% and annual interest rate. So people find it very convenient. The money lending rate, the loan shark rate in Bangladesh starts from 10% per month and goes all the way to 10% per week. And most of the time there is a rate for 10% per day. So compared to that kind of rate, this is almost free money. And in many countries around the world, their money lending rate is as high as 20% per day. In the Philippines, money lenders are called 5 and 6 system. 5 and 6 system, meaning that if you borrow 5 peso in the morning, you have to pay 6 peso
in the evening.
And that means 20% per day.
Credit.
And this is done all over the country, and it goes on for years and years. Nobody notices it. So what I'm saying, that it's not the fault of the poor people that they are poor.
Yeah.
And I keep saying that poverty is not created by the poor people. Poor people became the victim of the system which created that poverty and imposed on them. So if we can change the institutions and policies which make up the system, and people don't need to be in poverty. Because only one little thing that we are doing in our work, we're opening the door of the credit facility. And now you see so many things happening because that door is open. And there are many other things, legal requirements and so on. If you change it appropriately, poor people will be moving out. And if we can help them just by removing the barriers, not by doing something extra for them, just removing the barriers. We created a lot of barriers along the way.
And a lot of mental barriers.
A lot of mental barriers, a lot of physical barriers, a lot of economic barriers.
Economic, bureaucratic,
exactly. And
government.
Yes, and I'm telling that collateral that the banks or the security the banks require is almost like a wall you create.
It is a wall, a big wall.
People cannot jump over it. And it's almost like practicing financial apartheid, that you created something which you are punishing people for no fault of their own. Today, we have been doing for 22 years in Bangladesh, collateral-free, guarantee-free lending to the poor people, and they're paying back. And question of telling the poor people are not credit worthy is no longer valid. And today the relevant question is whether the banks are people worthy. Can we make the whole banking system so that we can do business with everybody, not just selected people on the top? So this is the real question now that we'll have to answer. And if we can answer those questions, then people can work themselves out of the poverty situation. And in the process, what we can create a poverty-free world. There's not fantastic. A single person in the planet who has to remain in poverty for any reason whatsoever. There is nothing that is inside the person which makes the person poor.
That's fantastic.
So it's always outside the person. So we remove that conditions which make that person poor person. So the creativity in the poor person, the potential in the poor person is no less than any other person anywhere in any other financial situation.
It's fantastic how you are designing the way out. No?
Yes.
You are opening the door and showing to people which is the way, for people to follow.
Absolutely, yes. And also it does tremendous things within the family. Like one of the things we encourage all children of Grameen families going to school. 100% enrollment, particularly in a country like Bangladesh where literacy is extremely low. So having their children go to school and have education. And that has ensured that all the children remain in school. Today we see many of the children are in colleges, are universities, in medical
heightening
schools.
the level.
Yes, heightening the level. Because our worry is this generation who are joining Grameen Bank, improving their life, but if we are not careful, then one disaster, one flood, one cyclone, then they are pushed back again into poverty. So we have to make sure not only they get out of poverty, they get out of poverty in a sustainable way. So that they don't have to ever get back to that position again. So they never cross the border of poverty back into poverty, back again, so that they can move on step by step on the future ways. So on this direction, we were talking about creation of something called social consciousness-driven enterprises. Enterprises who will be addressed to make it easy for poor people to become owners of those enterprises. Like Grameen Bank is owned by the borrowers. We are creating other companies which will be owned by the poor people so that they will have a portfolio of shares in their hand so that it becomes a kind of old age pension. People who are in Grameen Bank working now, but they will grow old and they will be incapable of working and earning money. And who supports them? Initially probably their own savings which they have in hand, but we should also organize some institutional support. And in that way what we are doing, we are creating very attractive companies like Grameen Phone, which is a mobile telephone company. And ultimate owner of these companies will be the Grameen borrowers, so that she knows that she not only has a loan from Grameen Bank, she also has a portfolio of shares in different companies created by the Grameen network. And then if she wants some extra cash, she can sell the shares and get the extra cash.
Fantastic.
Or she can get the dividends every month and take care of herself when she is not working. So in many ways we can create such environment where using the techniques of the rich people where they make money, the same techniques can be used to improve the life of the poor people. We have created mutual funds for poor people. We have created a company called Grameen Securities and Management Company so that their portfolios can be managed well by this company, so look after them. So a series of such companies have been created.
Incredible.
And many more can be created. If our ideas are clear, if your intentions are clear, this can be done.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Tell me, Professor, it must be very important the people you choose to work, the ones that go to the houses, with what criteria do you choose those people?
Well, actually, we are very relaxed. We don't ask for the moon in recruiting people, because we feel if you're looking for a special type of person, we'll have to find difficulty finding those special kind. So we made it very simple to begin with. We said any ordinary person is good enough for us. When we advertised for jobs in the newspaper and to apply for jobs in Grameen Bank, we simply mentioned the academic requirement that we are asking for. We recruit two types of people. One with 12 years of education, those who are going house to house to do the delivery of the service. Other one is a master's degree on any subject, graduate from the university. They become the managers of the branches. We just almost at random we pick them up, because thousands and thousands of young people apply for jobs, because Bangladesh has a problem of educated unemployment, a lot of young people without jobs. So when we advertise, all these people apply from us for these jobs. It's such a difficult process to even go ahead and interview and do some screening. So we just almost at random we pick them up and bring them in. So when they come in, they are just everyday person. There's nothing special about them. But we keep noticing after they work with Grameen Bank for 6 months to a year, they completely change.
Process of transformation.
Yes, process of transformation goes through the whole thing, because they see what they are doing. And one particular reason I find it very interesting, I think that transformation is expedited because they got the opportunity to touch people's lives. And touching people's life is such an intoxicating experience that once you start feeling that, you get attached to it. You want more of it. And even apparently disadvantages that you see living in the rural areas or not having good accommodation in the rural areas and so on becomes immaterial for them, because the rewards coming from the admiration you get from your families that you work for, and also the other villagers who respect you because you are an educated person, you are here to serve the poor people in the country. And you get a lot of such respect from people, and you enjoy that, because in cities, if you are working for government, if you are working for private sector, you become probably low officials in the whole hierarchy, and nobody will care for you. But here you are a very important person. Everybody is look up to you for what guidance or what you are saying or what you're doing.
It's reconforting for them.
Absolutely, very comforting for them, very exciting for them, for young people to have that kind of job. So they enjoy the job, and we have now 13,000 staff.
13,000?
Yes, in Grameen Bank.
Great lot.
And they stay with us. They don't quit the job and move on to something else.
They feel good.
They feel very good.
Very good.
We all feel very good.
I'm sure you do, like what you're doing. And tell me, did you do this experience in some other country? Do you have some branches?
Grameen Bank doesn't have any branches anywhere outside Bangladesh. But hearing about Grameen Bank, and people become very interested to see how we do it, so they come and visit us. And after they visit us, they become more excited, because now they see in reality that is how simple it is and how exciting it is. So they want to do it in their own countries. So many of such people started their programs in different countries. Today, more than 60 countries who have adopted Grameen programs in their own countries, addressing the same issues of poverty, of women, of people rejected by the banks, giving them loans. Not only it's the third world countries who are doing that, surprisingly even the rich countries are doing that. First surprise I got when USA became interested in adopting Grameen methodology. Now today there are more than 50 programs within the United States in urban areas like Chicago, like Washington DC, Los Angeles, and so on. Also in rural areas of Arkansas and such other places, and also in the native Indian reservations in South Dakota, in Oklahoma, and so many other places. So it addresses the same issue that people, if they had a small amount of money, they can create their own jobs, create the self-employment, and take care of themselves. They don't have to be dependent on anybody. In Norway, in Europe,
Norway too?
Yes, in Norway, in Poland, in Bosnia, in France. So in industrialized country, they find it for two reasons. One, welfare. A lot of people are on welfare in many of these countries, like United States. Welfare support budget comes to nearly $1 trillion in USA to support the people who are on welfare. And I keep saying that not only it's expensive to have that, that's not an issue. The issue is people who are on welfare, they are not enjoying that. They want to be regular human beings, earning their own money, being in the marketplace and doing the job for themselves. But welfare takes away the initiative and their dignity, that I cannot do my own thing and take care of myself. So I said, if you can provide the loan alternative, that you can either take a welfare check or you can borrow money from this program and start your own life, start doing the business yourself. And many of them, wherever these programs are available, like in Chicago and other places that I mentioned, they are doing that, and many of them are coming out of welfare by doing that. So it's a great relief to the society, because now one particular person has been rehabilitated in society. The person who depended on taxpayers' money, now becoming taxpayer herself, and the dignity it provides to her, that I can take care of myself. And the children who are born in that family can look up and see that we grow up in a family who looks after our own self. It's a tremendous feeling. So this is one area wherever the welfare things available, and also unemployment.
But I want to take you away. So,
okay.
Professor Yunus, thanks a lot, not only for being here with us, for what you've done, and for being a great example for everyone. I believe you'll have a lot of people that will try to think about that and to see how they can implement something to help poor people too. Thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to explain.
Thank you.
Thank you.